Hello and welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm Desiree Allard and I have in studio with me Liz Dixon. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Liz Dixon is a professor and I'd love to know kind of how you started your professorship.
Thank you. I work part-time at the Marriott School.
Okay.
I'm an adjunct faculty and I started my career in healthcare consulting. And about 15 years ago, one of my former professors, Dr. Bill Baker, was looking for someone to help teach a class called MCOM 321. And MCOM 321 was a block class that we used to help teach the business students how to give business presentations. And he was looking for some people, and he had been one of my professors in my graduate program there at the Marriott School, and we had done a lot of recording, and he had some videotape of me giving presentations. And he said to one of his colleagues, I really wish I could find her. I'd love to have her teach our students how to give presentations. And that's what I was doing in my career. I was doing consulting and teaching my clients. And the guy just so happened to be one of my neighbors. Oh. And he said, I know where to find her. And so he approached me and said, hey, do you want to come down and teach some classes for us? And so that's how my teaching at the Marriott School started. I didn't have to go after it. They came after me. And that's just a really good example of how networking works as well, where you ask, do you know somebody who could fill this? And I know where she is. So it was a great opportunity for me, particularly because I was a young mother at the time, and I was looking to get out of full-time consulting because I'd been put on a project that was 80% travel to Michigan. I was nursing a young baby, and I really didn't want to be working as a full-time worker. And so I started teaching at the Marriott School this MCOM 321 presentations class and fell in love with it. And a couple of years after that, they actually had to cancel the class because it took up so much real estate in the Tanner building, and they needed some of that because they were remodeling the JKB and some of the other buildings. So they took that away and they incorporated it into the MCOM 320 class, which is the writing class. And I had started teaching that class as well as the MCOM 321. So teaching both of those was a natural thing for me to do. So even though I wasn't teaching the MCOM 321 anymore, I was still teaching presentations as part of the Management Communications 320 course, which is the Advanced Writing and Communications course for undergraduate business students. So that's how that started. And then I started helping Bruce Money, who's now in the Global Management Center. I started helping him coach case competitions. So BYU is part of a consortium with the Center for International Undergraduate Business Education Research and a few other consortiums, and they do these international case competitions. And Bruce was looking for someone to help the students to deliver the presentations. He is an expert on teaching students how to crack cases. He needed somebody to give the presentations in. So we became a great dynamic duo, and we started winning case competition after case competition after case competition. So I've really loved doing that as well. I also am the director for the Writing Center for the Romney Institute. That's the graduate program in public administration, and I run their online writing lab. And I've also taught the undergraduate business ethics class for the integrated core and have loved doing that. So that one phone call opened up a whole world of opportunity for me, and I'm so grateful to the Marriott School for providing these opportunities so that I could balance my work as a mother and as a professional.
Fabulous. So you have skills both in the presentation side and also in the writing side.
Yes.
Fabulous. Well, we've got a lot of students out there that are putting together resumes for upcoming positions. What are your top 3 tips?
I'm really glad you asked. That's one of the things that we teach the undergraduate students, and it's equally as important, obviously, for the graduate students. And sometimes we don't think that because graduate students have been out in the workforce, they've already put together a resume, but it's really, really important for the graduate students as well as the undergraduate students. And my top 3 tips include, first of all, selling yourself like a Kirby vacuum cleaner, which I know sounds really funny. Well, and I'll start there. So when I say sell yourself like a Kirby vacuum cleaner, I tell a little story about a guy who came to my house one day, and he knocks on my door, and I open the door, and he says, you know, if you buy this Kirby vacuum cleaner, I could win a trip to Jamaica. And I look at it and I say, I don't really care. I've been there and it's overrated. So it's really not overrated. It's a great place to visit. But my point in all of that is to say this. What he should have said is, ma'am, I see you have hardwood floors in your entryway. Did you know that this Kirby vacuum cleaner has a hardwood floor buffer that could save you thousands of dollars over the life of that floor? And I also noticed that you have carpet going up your stairs. And did you know that this Kirby vacuum cleaner also has a carpet shampooing attachment that could save you hundreds of dollars over the life of that carpet? And that's what we don't do on a resume. We talk about what we want to talk about, and we don't focus it on what the employer is looking for. And so that's my first tip, is to sell yourself like a Kirby vacuum cleaner. But what we don't do is identify what our unique selling position is so that we can tailor our skills to what the employer is looking for. So what everyone needs to do is conduct a skills inventory and determine what their hard skills are. Those are the things you know how to do: accounting, finance, marketing, programming, etc. Those are the things I know how to do, and they're easy to showcase on a resume. I then need to identify what my soft skills are, and soft skills are a little bit harder to showcase on a resume. And those are things like, I'm a hard worker, I'm a team player, I get along well with others, I'm a quick learner, I pay attention to detail. Those items, they're a little bit more difficult to showcase on that resume. So you've got to identify what that skill set is and then match your skills to what the employer is looking for. And in that regard, you do in fact say, hey, guess what? You need a hardwood floor buffer? I've got that. You need the carpet shampooer? I've got that. And you identify and match those skills tailored to what the employer is looking for and not what you're looking for. And that leads me to my second point, and that is the objective statement. The objective statement on a resume is basically what you want out of the job. And quite frankly, employers don't care what you want. They really want to know what you bring to the table. So with that, I suggest that you replace the objective statement with a professional summary, particularly people who are in graduate school who already have employment and internship experience, so they can actually showcase at the top of the resume those skills that the employer is seeking, and not make the resume a game of hide and seek. Because if you're trying to hide and obfuscate all of this information, you're not going to be seen like other people. And I highly, highly recommend that you bold key terms at the top and think about how the brain works. We read top to bottom. And if a managing director, a hiring manager, a recruiter, those people will look at your resume for precious few seconds, and they'll start at the top. And if you strategically place that information at the top of the resume, tailored to what the employer is looking for, your chances of being seen for an interview are that much greater. And finally, make that resume look good. I just said, they read top to bottom, left to right. So create a package. A package means have a masthead for the top of your resume that actually matches every cover letter. And you should have a cover letter, regardless of whether the employer asks for it or not. Have a complete package with a matching masthead for the resume and the cover letter. So it looks like a complete package, it looks like a professional package, and that package is tailored to what the employer is looking for. And if the applicants will do that, their resumes will come to the top.
Fabulous. So taking a few extra minutes, look at what the employer wants.
Yes.
Make sure that you have that in the top of your resume.
And they're giving you a cheat sheet. They're saying
Totally,
these are the
and a job
skills we're looking
description.
for. The job
Exactly.
description gives you the cheat sheet. You don't have to divine, you don't have to be clairvoyant to know what the employer is looking for. The employer will tell you. Then you say, as I mentioned, hey, we're looking for a hardwood floor buffer. What if they're looking for a tile grout attachment cleaner, right? And if they're not, well, I've got that, but I don't need to showcase that at the top of the resume. I'll save that for somewhere down in the bottom of my resume, because that's not what the employer is looking for. And remember, it's not about what you want to showcase. It's about what the employer is looking for.
Fabulous. Great tips. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us on this series of Marriott MBA Today.